Hey Soul Tribe, this is Mystique, your Mystic Seer. Welcome to my sacred space and welcome to this collective love situation reading. I'm going to start out by opening in prayer and then I'm going to draw a message forth from the Love and Light Oracle. This will set the theme for your reading. Then I'll draw messages forth from the Pastel Prism Tarot. And following this, to give us some more insight and clarity that we receive from the messages from the tarot, I'm going to use the Romance and Love Oracle. So I'll begin by opening in prayer and then we will start your reading. Dear God, Jesus Christ, archangels, spirit guides and ancestors, please may you come forth and deliver messages in relation to the collective energy and their love situation. And may we receive these messages accurately and as intended. We ask that you please surround us with divine love, healing energy, and protection as we tap into the collective energy and carry out this reading. And may we give thanks for the Holy Spirit and give all glory to the Holy Spirit for the messages we received today, which makes all things possible. In Jesus' name, Ashe. See everything through the eyes of love. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. Yeah, I'm getting that you're still learning how to love. Because you've got some emotional wounds that make it a little bit difficult for you to love yourself. And in this way, that's projecting out into your life. And these are powerful emotions because they're coming from places of deep pain. So when you love, I'm getting that you're a very clingy sort of person. You like to keep tabs on exactly where your person is and what they're doing. And if you can be there, you will. Like you really, you're very dependent on them to ensure that they're giving you their time. And I'm getting that this is a bit too overwhelming for your person. The Hermit. Like you could be on the other end of this spectrum of this when you look at perhaps it may be you who is allowing someone to love you in the wrong way. You know, it might be you that is going through a situation where the person you're with may be a bit too demanding of your time, or you may be the person that has those deep wounds that are coming out as like, I'm being told to say codependency issues. This may come from an abandonment wound or something like that. Yeah, so far you got the Hermit and the King of Swords in reverse. Yeah, the Page of Cups in reverse. That makes sense. And we'll get one more as advice from Spirit. The Ten of Cups in reverse. You may be in a period of solitude, spending time away from your person. You might even be having a break from one another. And I'm getting that this has taken its toll on you. Like, this has been really rough because all you want to do is reach out to your person and be with them. But your person needs this time also, because you're both healing from deep wounds that you guys have triggered in one another. You didn't cause them, but these are old wounds that you have gotten into some kind of cycle where no matter what you do, no matter how much you try to discuss it and bring it up, these patterns aren't changing. You're finding you're getting hurt in the same ways. So I'm getting that, you know, instead of your heart calling out for that, your person, look a little bit deeper below that, because I guarantee you'll find your soul is calling out for you to spend this time to heal, to do the introspection, to do the shadow work. This represents your person, and your person is pretty self-assured that they are the one that, like, they like to be the one that's right. They like to be the winner. They like to compare themselves to others. You know, like, for example, they may have to go out and buy brand names just to keep up with the Joneses. This is a little bit shallow. The way they are a bit judgy towards others. And your person's a bit of a slippery character, is what I would say. They tend to play on people's emotions to manipulate situations into outcomes that they want. So they're not an easy person to have a relationship, I'm hearing, with. Like, they're not easy to be with, because their baggage and things that they've carried from the past with them into this relationship, they aren't ready to acknowledge that. The Page of Cups in reverse tells me that you guys are both very insecure. I'm getting that you feel insecure in this relationship too. Like, it doesn't feel like a safe place anymore, because you are afraid to trust one another. You know, you could let your walls down and trust, but are you doing that to someone who's earned it, or are you doing that for someone who has already crossed boundaries and, you know, kind of, it's like exposing your wounds and then having them use them as your weaknesses. That's happened before. I'm getting that you've let your walls down for this person before and they've let you down. Advice from Spirit. This is a very disharmonious delay in your life. That's what I'm getting. this situation, look, evil eye returned to sender all over his little king pajama things. And I'm getting that whatever this person has done, they've got karma coming in for them. They will reap what they sow. Don't delay their karma by giving them the sympathy card. You know what I mean? Like, Spirit is, this is a time in their life where Spirit is demanding that they sit down and pay attention, because you have to look within and do some work on yourself. And you would be getting in the way of this person working on themselves, because as long as they've got somebody to project their pain onto, they're not going to take fault, like they're not going to admit fault. And yeah, this is a massive delay. This is a big delay in your life to what Spirit wants to send in towards you. This is just taking up space. How can Spirit bring blessings into your life when you're hanging on to something that you're supposed to let go of for your own good, for your own sanity, your own peace of mind, for the sake of your soul? Sure, you can work on relationships to make them better, but you can't work on them if one person isn't willing to work on themselves. You know what I mean? The energy and effort you're putting in will be for nothing if that's the case. Dreams. Look to your dreams. They hold all the answers you seek. I'm getting this situation has even impacted on your happiness when you're sleeping. Like, you might be having situations that were unpleasant play out in your mind while you're trying to sleep. I'm getting that you're also having weird dreams about them, like looking for them, or you're meant to meet up with them and you can't find them in your dreams. That's because they're telling you that this person isn't showing up for you in your life, or if they're at the end of a journey and you can't get to them, Spirit might be making that journey difficult for you because they're not in alignment with your purpose. Wedding, taking your relationship to the next level, one step at a time. Like, potentially, if you choose to stay in this situation, yes, you will marry this person. But you're also going to marry all of these characteristics about them that they are not willing to work on at this point in their life. Like, there will come a point in their life where Spirit's going to stop them and make them work on themselves. Passion. Keep the flame of passion alive. It's the heartbeat of love. You may feel very passionate about this person. Or it might be because of the passion between you and this person that you find yourself in this situation. And in order to keep your life feeling passionate and to pursue your own passions, you need to have people that show up in your life that are bringing your soul joy, that are making you happy. If people are doing things that are careless with your feelings and hurtful, and then you're having questions about trusting them and stuff like that, they're not bringing your soul joy. They're bringing you pain, anxiety, and grief. Boundaries. Love may challenge your boundaries. Protect them. See, this situation, I'm getting that your boundaries haven't been protected. You haven't shown up for yourself and said, right, I'm not going to allow you to cross these boundaries. And your spirit is at unease because of this. Because your spiritual self was wanting you to show up and, you know, defend your territory, so to speak, defend your boundaries. And if people are going to cross your boundaries, to keep your spirit whole, to keep your spirit safe and protected, you know, you need to make sure that you're not in a position where that person is ever able to cross your boundaries again. That's how you avoid the pain of the lesson you've already learnt. You know, your boundaries are very important. If somebody crosses your boundaries, that is a red flag. So think about your boundaries too, because like I said, you and this person likely will, I'm getting that you likely will get married, especially if you choose to continue on with this situation. He's, you know, the moment in his life where he has the stark realization that he needs to heal, it's not going to be for a while. You're delaying that lesson for him by staying with him. And you have to be mindful, if he's crossing boundaries now and he's comfortable with that and you're not married yet. Could be a her too, sorry. I'm just looking at this picture and it's a him and a her. And yeah, take it how it resonates. But if they're crossing boundaries now, they're going to get more comfortable with doing things like that as time progresses. So it's a lot for you to think about. I don't envy you having this weight on your shoulders. I'll do that again. Closing my eyes. This is going to be a very slow process for your person to heal. And I'm getting that they're not a fast learner. You've got all these worries and anxieties going on around you, and Spirit's saying you're young, you've got your whole life ahead of you. You should be sipping martinis on a beach instead of stressing about things like this, because you are so much, you're worth so much more than this. Like, to have someone getting away with not treating you the way you should be treated. I'm getting Spirit saying you should be kicking back on a beach, sipping martinis somewhere, and if you are with a person, you should be being, they should be treating you like the queen you are, and vice versa, because this treatment, like this, the way you're being treated isn't in alignment with your higher self. Your spirit, your soul doesn't like being treated like that. Respect. When people treat us not in the way we deserve to be treated, like when they're disrespecting us, you've got to ask what's the definition of disrespectful? Is this what's happening to me? Is somebody treating me without respect? Because, you know, a big part of self-respect is how we allow other people to treat us. And if we put ourselves back in the same situations that result in not being treated with the dignity and respect you deserve, you know, like if we know that a person has a tendency to do A, B, and C, then we know the pattern, and we don't want to experience the outcome that it could end up as. So we tend to get comfortable with people in our lives mistreating us. You know, things that we're not okay with at the beginning of a relationship, we find ourselves letting our walls down and starting to be okay with being treated in ways that don't reflect what your higher self wants. So the self-respect is a really big thing when it comes to putting your boundaries down and remaining firm in what your boundaries are. Because that way, if you don't allow yourself to be mistreated, you're going to put that energy out there into the world. You know, I'm not going to tolerate anyone mistreating me. It doesn't mean that I have to take revenge, but I don't have to allow that to happen in my life. That is taking the steps, being the adult to your inner child, coming up to save the day, to sort the situation out that your soul's not uncomfortable with, that your inner child's not okay with. You being that person to show up for yourself and speak on your behalf and defend what it is that you believe in. And that's what your spirit is calling on you to do, is like respect yourself the way you want other people to respect you. Don't tolerate less. You are a divine being of light, an eternal spirit creature living in a human form, having a human experience. But don't forget your place. You know, you are a powerful being of light. So you deserve to be treated for the light worker that you are, that's trying to show up in the world and put positive energy out there, you know. You got the octopus. Octopuses are crafty little creatures, you know, they can crawl into places that are way too small and find their way out again, you know, to steal crabs out of crab pots and things like that. And I'm really not liking this vibe with this, what you're going through, because like this gives me, you know, that your person is the type of person, if they get caught, they won't stop doing it. They will learn to hide it better. You know, that is what I'm getting from that. I mean, octopi are cool. They're one of the coolest creatures. They're like in the top 5 most smart creatures in the world. And like, I'm getting that your person is very charismatic. They're very charming. They're very smart. They're intelligent. And I'm just getting that they've got that crafty side to them, hey. Anyways, you've got the lollipop. This makes me feel nostalgic. It makes me think of being a kid, not having these kinds of worries. You know, let the adults deal with all the problems. Just be a kid. The only thing you got to worry about is when supper time, or when the next time you're going to play with your friends. So I'm getting that Spirit is reminding you to nurture your inner child. Don't take on unnecessary worries or burdens from other people. You don't want to put that on your inner child. You don't want to put that on your soul. You are entitled and worthy of living a carefree existence. You deserve so much more than settling for less. Okay, like I'm getting you need to give yourself a lot of compliments, pour a lot of energy into your own cup, show up for yourself every day and defend those boundaries. Okay, if somebody's going to cross your boundaries and they've proven it, then don't give them the opportunity to do that again, because they've already shown you what they're capable of and you're putting yourself out there to experience the same emotional pain. We want to learn from these lessons and level up from them. We don't want to keep going through the same difficult lessons. We want to be carefree and happy like a child that just got their lollipop. You know, that's how Spirit wants us to view life, from a naive perspective, in saying that like experiencing things for the first time every time. You know, taking in the beautiful world we live in, appreciating a flower, letting the sunlight into your house. You know, things like that are what brings the soul joy. They're what makes your inner child happy. So definitely think about your inner child and show up for yourself. You know, be the adult in your life that you wish you had around when you were a kid. And I do hope that these messages resonated, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening this far. I pray that these messages resonated and that you got what you were, whatever it was that you were questioning or wondering, or your soul was hurting about. I hope this has given you some clarity and some self-belief that you know what's good for your soul and you know the way. For a personal reading with me, the link to my store is down in the description. We're currently having a sale on live readings and love spells, so feel free to check those out. The link to my store is in the description. But thank you so much, guys. I'll talk to you all next time. Bye for now.